So at last we are seeing the four goddess angels that have been protecting us, and one of them is a mermaid. Actually, I think we already knew that. I actually liked how this scene started up with the angels appearing from each of our heroes and fading in. That was a cool effect. And if I might interject with some extra commentary here, hello everyone! Future me here again. So, when I was going through this cutscene, I had a really hard time figuring out which angel was which. This is the first time we've seen two of them, and the other two we've only seen briefly. I know we just saw them pop out of their respective hero, but I don't think that was quite enough. Especially with our heroes being covered up. Like, which one is Dusk and which one is Lyn? Maybe it would have been helpful if the angels had done some sort of movement when it was their turn to speak. Like, maybe they could have turned in place or stepped forward. Or maybe they could be standing in the same positions that the heroes are right now. Since that doesn't happen, though, allow me to help you out find out which of these angels is which. First, there's Chermes. Chermes is a mermaid. We can remember this by giving her a nickname, Chermaid. Next, there is Priyan. Priyan is pretty in pink. Third, there is Michiru. Michiru has kind of a Japanese name, so she is dressed as a Japanese female ninja, kind of. And last, there is Ares. Ares is last because her name starts with the first letter of the alphabet. Yeah, sorry, that's the best I could come up with. Anyway, just keep these attributes in mind. Chermaid, Pretty Pink Priyan, Michiru the Ninja, and Ares. Yawn. Okay, what is it, Sister Priyan? Is something on your mind? Yes, I am sorry for bringing you all here like this. Although, to be honest, the fact that Chermes just yawned in her speech was very much to do with the concerns on my mind that I wish to reveal to you all. Be careful, my dear sister, lest we lose our four friends' trust in us were they to overhear what we speak in secret. It has become that Dusk is sometimes able to comprehend my very thoughts as I can his. How can I tell for sure that he cannot do so even in his sleep? Sigh, I know, but... Look, I do not take any more pleasure in keeping something secret from those four children any more than the rest of you do, but time is of the great essence these days, and I must admit to having many concerns on my mind that I fear I cannot reveal to even our earthling friends who intend to face the Lord of Darkness alongside us four angels of heaven. What do you mean, sister? I mean, we are in serious trouble here, my sisters. More so than any of the children might realize. We are so close to the monster who wields the power to destroy all life in this universe over the heads of the creatures of Elvenia, everything that the goddess of fate has ever created, and yet we four who were given life to nurture and protect these Elvenians can do but little to stop the terrible beast as we fade more and more quickly away from Elvenia. Fading, Sister Priyan? Yawn. Yes. Did you not notice, Chermes? You cannot keep yourself from showing your fatigue, as you did just now. Chermes looks down. Now tell me, dear sister, if any substantial measure of your immortality as a being of the heavens still existed within you, whatever would there be a need for sleep, period? You know, I was just about to ask that question, except decided not to for some reason. It did seem interesting that our angels appear to be waking up from sleep, and it's like, do angels need to sleep? Priyan's now more desperate. We are becoming more and more like Serena's mortal children every day. We find ourselves almost as prone to wayward emotions as they are, and by now we can scarcely grant any of our servants the magical power they require to defend themselves against a single enemy before feeling a severe strain on our bodies. At this rate, we'll be of no help to our earthling friends when they finally come face to face with the monster who impersonates the great dragon, lest we end up destroying ourselves. And poor Michiru, you were nearly killed by Solus Arden in your fight with him as it was. Do you think by this time around that you could hope to survive fighting him? Nay, if I faced him again now, I would surely be dead within moments. Priyan hangs her head, and worse yet, we cannot even find our mother. Shh! One of the children might hear us. If they knew the truth about the possible fate of the heavens and the goddess who created all life within and under it, the children who had come from a planet that was almost completely shrouded in darkness long before our own world ever came to realize that evil even existed, would surely lose all trust in us, not to mention any hope that what the people of Elvenia have asked these poor earthlings to fight on their behalves for is a wish that can possibly come true. We may have made a grievous mistake in not telling them from the very beginning everything we have come to know about the true nature of the one whom we call the Lord of Darkness, even if our hearts were in the right place. But still, we cannot bring ourselves to say anything, even now when they suspect that even us four angels of light are on the verge of complete destruction because of what both Solus Arden and the Dark Lord, what the devil, Serena's eternal antitype, has done to us. And how? They used our love for our mother against her and everyone in her world as a meaningless toy to be trifled with and then broken. Sister Priyan, I understand how you feel, but do you realize what this means for us in terms of how our servants, who of their own will came to befriend four mysterious women of unearthly origins who've never even appeared before their sight, look upon us? I distinctly recall my dear servant telling me once long ago that he trusts me wholly, even as he felt that something was being withheld from him by me, and at such an important time as this for Elvenia, when Dusk needs assurance in his faith the most. And now, I am ashamed to have that memory replay itself in my heart. Do not our other three earthling friends hold that same absolute trust in each of their guardian angels? Charmies momentarily half smiles. As much as he would try to act so cool by playing off even recognizing me as a friend, Lin is like a son to me. And now it is apparent that, like any mortal mother who cares for her child, even as an angel, I have made a mistake in my guidance over him, however unintended it was. I should not withhold truth from him, even if I am only concerned with what hearing it might possibly do to change the principles that he keeps. I'm kind of in agreement, and I do remember that scene earlier where it seemed like one of the angels was hiding information from Dusk. I also feel like that maybe this is what was going on in secret during our conversation with Madison, when one of the angels had to go rest. I wish I did not have to admit to you all that I do not feel I can say the same about Uri. Each of those children who have bound themselves to you by both their personal wishes for Elvenia and by the inexplicable force that we call magic may have resigned themselves to stay sheltered within the wings of you three, but I regret to say that I am sometimes led to wonder if Uri even cares anything for me at all, or if he harbors any true reasons at all for wanting to save this world of Serena's that we two have come across an entire galaxy to join hands with each other from, just as the other three children wish. Though I hear him speak and act as a follower of light many times, still, I sense that he may not believe that I am even who I say I am, and that in his mind he sees his poor and the people of Elvenia in almost the same light that the Dark Lord himself does. He does have his unshakable sense of humor, I will admit that. Sigh. Serena knows Hurry certainly enjoys making a show of shrugging off his ill fate by making fun of me in the absolute charming way that he does at every opportunity. But underneath, he takes this fight against the darkness with perhaps more resolve and intensity of will than even someone like that boy Dusk does. Only there is no naivete within Uri as there is within the one whom our mother has already revealed himself in a dream to. Just a fierce sense of duty that is concealed underneath a facade of carefree nonchalance and skepticism that there is a deeper meaning to why Elvenia even exists in the universe at all. Priyan. Serena only came to Ares' servant before the day he found himself in another world called Elvenia because Dusk in his heart allowed her to get through to him. Because he wanted to believe that there was a higher being who would stand behind him and be there to constantly assure him that there is true value in living a life that holds all other life and the sanctity of love in this universe as precious, and that it is the right path to try to follow of his own will. Lynn Harrison came to believe in her eventually as well, but Uri does not see what the other three do. He thinks that he has no doubts about his convictions, yet that is precisely why I fear his reasons in fighting for Elvenia are nothing more than the destruction of the evil within her, and that there is no one in heaven to help him do it. He is mortal, and all mortals, in spite of themselves, have doubts sometimes. Therefore, Uri's lack of doubt is not human courage, but the folly of arrogance. Nevertheless, Sister Priyan, I cannot betray my brave servant's trust in me, however naive it may be. I must let the truth be known to him soon, even if doing so shows that his guardian angel herself, who guides him with the light of heaven, now has weaknesses. But it truly is unfortunate. Even us, her closest servants, know nothing of Serena's whereabouts except that she must be out there somewhere in the cosmos fighting her own battle against the devil, where she cannot hear the cries of her people from below. She grows so distant because virtually no one left in Elvenia has true hope in her. To the earthling children, it may not seem to be this way, but we Solus Emsu angels can still see deeper into their hearts, and beneath the hopeful smiles lies a steadily growing fear of all of the evil that closes in on them from all sides. And we know well that fear begets confusion, then desperation, and finally hate. That sounds kind of familiar. In truth, the only one in all of Elvenia who truly seems to hold absolute faith in her heart in spite of her fear is that girl who is called the Kalinkan Princess, Sarah. Speaking of Sarah, have you all noticed something amiss about that young woman? I never felt it necessary to bring this up before, but... What is it, Sister Ares? I cannot even tell exactly what it is, but there is just something, I think, inhuman about her. She is no ordinary human girl. There is no question of the purity in her spirit that she struggles to maintain. That much is true. But why does she alone seem to stand amongst all Elvenians as a pillar of hope? And remembering what Michiru had said of that young girl to us one time, that she in her blindness could still feel the brush of Sarah's wings. So, what do you think, Sister Ares? That Sarah Winters is not mortal? Beware the irony of words used carelessly, my sister. We know from the Earth Children's dilemmas we've already been through with them already that strange and unexpected things often result from their unwitting suggestion. What would it matter to us either way? Sarah is still just one person, one mortal girl with her own weaknesses, and... Sister Priyan! I'm sorry, sister, but we must face this reality. If we try to run away and hide from it, then we are no different from the Elvenian mortals, and all is lost. Okay, I was kind of wondering which one was which, so I guess Priyan is the one in the upper right. We cannot go on fooling ourselves. We have gone on in blissful silence with each other for far too long, always believing that everything is right with the world and that there is never a need to speak of our fears, that perhaps Elvenia and her sister world will forever be lost in the end, after all. There. Do you hear yourself, sister? You are letting your emotions get in the way of what you know to be true in your heart. Your anger and your doubt cloud your faith. Sister Ares is right, Priyan. No matter how gloomy the outlook of Elvenia's crisis may appear to be, we cannot allow ourselves to become weak now. We must remain loyal to the mortals of this world called Elvenia, who we watch over and care for even the strongest among them is still very weak, my dear goddess of love, Priyan. We cannot fail them by living in doubt ourselves. The people of Elvenia depend upon us, Sister Priyan, even if most of them no longer realize it. And perhaps one day, when we have managed to banish the darkness from this galaxy, and those 4 children who we have befriended go back to their own world with the wisdom and love that the Elvenians have helped the children to engrave upon their hearts, the people of this earth will come to depend upon us as well. You speak with true wisdom, sisters. Please forgive me for what I have said. We will find our mother and defend the very force that threatens her existence and her rulership over the worlds that she created. Not only that, we will help these poor mortal souls of Earth and Elvenia, who lie at the mercy of evil, to defeat the darkness that they know and fear to exist in each of their hearts. We will. Good morning, children! Uri startled awake. Ah! Sigh. That is not a recommended way of bidding someone a good morning, Ares. Not to mention that doing so at all is ill-placed at a time like this. The Chiru yawns. I'm afraid I must agree with the humans on this one, sister. Ares has a nervous laugh. Sorry about that. Let's just get going, everyone. Wraith is waiting for us. Sudden music change. I feel like that was a mistake. Yeah, it is definitely a mistake. Oh, and then the new path has opened up. Well, there's the weapon shop down there. The fact that this just opened up kind of tells me that that is our intended destination. Before we go there, though, I'm curious about the place above Uri's crib. Oh, it's another Luna gate! So now we've found 3 of these gates. They probably lead to different places. We only know of one of the gates back in Elvenia. I wonder where the other two lead. So apparently Wraith is expecting us at SAU. Saving again because I walked. And I want to save that I walked. I'm looking at the guide right now. Gorgon. We can do a minigame? Hold on a sec. Before we move on to the plot, apparently there's something back where we were that we can do. Unfortunately, it means going back to the church and its awful music. But it's something to try.